Okay, so today I want to talk about things to do with my competition. So, Sarah Palin. I know she's going to get out there, and I heard her ratings was down, and people hated her as much as they hated the Pelosi lady. Now, things that she said in the past that don't make sense to me, and even I know better. And she said things like this. I've been so focused on the government, I haven't really focused on the war in Iraq. How could you not focus on the war in Iraq? I mean, it's right there. Everybody knows about it. You could go out in the street and ask a 10-year-old, and they would know about the war in Iraq. I think the war needs to be one of the biggest things that you're going to address. Now, for her to say she's been focused on state government, what state isn't giving money to the government for the war? That's what I want to know. So how would you not be able to be focused on your state government and then not expect to give money for this war? Where are you living? I know she's living up in Alaska, but the last time I checked, it was one of the states. Then, in one of the things she said, when she's mayor, she can do whatever she wants to do until the courts tell her she can't. Now, what kind of person do you think you're going to put in the government that thinks they can do whatever they want to do until the Justice Department people at the court tell them that she can't do it? And first of all, we know that people in the Justice Department, they do whatever they want. So if you put someone like her in the office, she's gonna do what she wants to do and not what I want to do or what you want to do as American people. Now, then she's talking about the government and where she's located in Alaska. She's like talking about building that bridge over to Russia. I mean, who wants to build a bridge over there? They're a next-door neighbor, she said, and you can actually see them from a land over in Alaska. I couldn't believe when she said I mean, that's just like me going over to New York and looking out in the water and saying, "Look, I can see China." I don't know what she's thinking. So she was on the interview with the TV with Katie Couric, and I look forward to seeing Katie Couric when it's my time to interview with her. Now, Katie Couric asked her what kind of magazines and books she read. Well, she didn't have an exact answer, so Katie Couric said again, well, can you give us any specifics? And she just kind of boldly said, all of them. Any of them and all of them have been in front of me all over the years. So, because she's unable to single a newspaper out that she reads or a magazine. So my thing is do we really want Sarah Palin ordering Playboy and all those things going to the White House? Now, she admitted that she reads all of the magazines. So, I mean, she's reading the Teeny Bopper magazine, she's reading the Reader's Digest, she's reading Playboy, she's reading the Hustler, she's reading all of them. Now, I think that we're wasting money on her spending things like that on stupid stuff. You know, she's sitting there doing it. Now, that Biden guy, now I know that he's the vice president. I got nothing wrong with them or anything. But I want to talk about things that he's done. And he said, he said at one time Hillary Clinton was more qualified than him to be vice president of the United States. And then he said, quite frankly, it might be a better pick than me. I mean, him himself said that at a town hall meeting in Washington, New Hampshire. And I don't understand why people would want to put him in office whenever he don't even have confidence in himself. I know I can do the job. I know I can do the job. I know I can do the job. I don't need to sit there and say Hillary Clinton's better than me. Anyway, moving on, thing that he said. He said this about Barack Obama. He said, you got the first mainstream African American who is articulate and bright and clean and a nice looking guy. Now, I mean, that's a storybook man. He said that about Barack Obama. So to me, what he's saying is, it's the first black man that ever looked nice in the history of the United States. The first one. Now, I think that I don't mind picking someone who is African American to be on my team. But he really said that. To me, it just made it sound like he's sitting there saying he's the first African American that ever looked nice. You know, and he's also got tested for AIDS before. And on that matter, so is Barack. He's got tested for AIDS. You know, I think that we need to really look at it and think about it. Anyway, moving into things about Biden, I don't know the man. You don't ever hear from him. I think that it's ridiculous that you don't get to hear from this president person that's in the thing, that's in the office with him. So, going on to McCain. Now, I don't know much about him, and I don't really know if he's going to rerun or not. I don't know if he's going to think about doing it. Now, I think it'd be a waste of his money, but he was asked in an interview to how many houses and residences he owned. And he said, I think, I'll have to get my staff to get back to you. It's condominiums that I'll have to get back. That means that man must own so many condominiums, he don't even know what he owns no more. He probably got a condominium in every state in the whole Mississippi, New York City, everywhere. Now, who needs that many condos? I mean, really, he's so rich, he don't even need to work. But he's sitting here trying to take, you know, he's a rich man trying to protect his rich friends. And it's just, you know, I don't know. He's just ridiculous. I mean, he's going to be honest about a lot of things. He said this, I'm going to be honest, I know a lot less about economics than I do about foreign policies, and I still need to be educated. Now, I don't need to be educated about nothing. I know everything I need to know to be president. So for him to sit there and admit that he's not educated seems to me that you just put someone else in there like me who's educated enough to know. Now, Barack Obama, you know, he is going to rerun. You know that he is. But things that he said, one thing when he was in Beaverton, Oregon, I remember watching this on the TV, he said, I've now been in 57 states. I got one left to go. And I sat there and started counting it. Mississippi, New York, Miss Washington, Oregon, Texas, California. I started trying to count them. I couldn't count. I mean, who can really do it? But he said 57 states. Now, I knew right then that there was something wrong with that. For him to sit there and say 57 states, who's he counting? I don't know. And then he got a question by a reporter, and then he just goes, hold on, can I just eat my waffle? Like, he didn't want to answer a question. And then he was at a news conference, and they kept asking questions, you know, because reporters are like that. And I can deal with a lot of people asking questions. And he finally says, come on, I just answered like 8 questions. Like, oh, you answer 8 questions, and you're the president, and now you don't have to worry about answering any more questions? I mean, everybody should be able to answer whatever questions that they want. Anyway, so moving on to things like Barack Obama and those people like that. I mean, did you know David Beckham always wanted to be a hairdresser? I heard it. Now, anyway, I just think that if you elect me, you're gonna know that I'm qualified and I'm not stupid and I'm not dumb and I'm not an idiot and I'm gonna be able to take on these questions. And if you need to ask me 50 questions, I'll tell you the straight truth. And that'll be the end of the story. So anyway, Alaska, the last thing I want to say about Alaska, if you move to Alaska, everybody that lives in the state of Alaska, they get $1,500 or $2,000 a year per resident. Now, I suggest everybody that can move to Alaska, go move up there, because they give you money for living there. A lot of people don't know this. So, I think they give like $1,500 or $2,000. So, it's $20,000 for 10 people in one household. So, you know that those people up in Alaska are having a bunch of kids, so they can get a bunch of money from the government. The government's giving them money to live in Alaska. They do, people. This is something that's not hidden. You can call anybody in Alaska and ask them. I mean, It's ridiculous that people getting that much money. And I don't know if Sarah Palin has something to do with it or not. I just think something needs to be done about it. So, today's video is just recapping stupid things that those other people running for office might be running for office said. And I think that if you elect me, I'm not going to say nothing dumb. I'm going to tell you the truth. So, thank you for listening to today's video. I appreciate you very much. Thank you for telling your friends. Bye-bye.